The U.S. State Department has dropped China's official name, the People's Republic of China, and will now simply use China. They've also removed language opposing Taiwan's independence. Does this signal a shift in U.S. policy towards Beijing? We spoke with retired Marine Colonel Grant ניושם, Senior Fellow at the Center for Security Policy and the author of When China Attacks, to get his take. Let's dive in. Grant ניושם, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you back on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Now, under this Trump administration, the State Department has dropped the name PRC, or People's Republic of China, for just China. Now, what do you make of that change and what message it's sending to Beijing?
Oh, I think it's potentially significant. This is something China, the PRC, is not going to like. Additionally, you'll notice they also dropped some language from their website that had specifically said the Americans do not support Taiwan's independence. That language is gone. That's going to even get the Chinese more mad. And this is interesting because it does suggest a newfound willingness on the part of at least the State Department's leadership to defend Taiwan, protect Taiwan, and to do things without being in terror of what the Chinese might think. For so many years, the reaction to any issue involving Taiwan or even involving in China was, well, what will the Chinese think? Will it provoke China? Well, that sort of thinking needs to stop, and maybe this State Department is going to do it. So these are small but significant actions by the State Department. Let's see if they keep it up.
Now, to your point on the Taiwan aspect, that doesn't mean the U.S. now supports Taiwan's quote-unquote independence, but it does signal that shift, like you're mentioning. Beijing did lash out immediately after that change. Now, when it comes to the China part, the State Department fact sheet also shows other changes. It drops the reference to U.S. assistance to China. Instead, it talks about the trade deficit and reciprocity, and also talks about countering the CCP's, quote, malicious cyber activity against the U.S. government. What do you make of those changes, and what policy shifts we could be seeing from that?
Well, you could be seeing, as I said, a more sort of direct approach to when it comes to China, and not one that always worries about getting the Chinese mad. There was always the thinking, well, we need China's help for, fill in the blank, climate change, transnational crime, North Korea, Ukraine. None of these things will China actually help us with, but that was the thinking. And if you do have a State Department which reflects administration policy, saying things that China isn't going to like, well, as I said, that's a good thing. And these are also sensible things to say when you're talking about reciprocity. Now, that should be the basic standard for the U.S. relationship with the People's Republic of China. Is it reciprocal? If we can't do something in China, well, they shouldn't be able to do it here. And that's at a minimum. And reciprocity also suggests you can go a step further, and if the other side is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, that you can punish them for it and take measures to protect yourself. So it certainly is a change from what we've seen in the last 4 years, change from what we saw during the Obama administration and every Republican and Democrat administration before that. So this is Mr. Trump's second time around. He's probably learned some lessons his first time dealing with the Chinese. So we'll see how it goes.